Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Dave's Top 3,000 Songs of the Rock Era. Today I'm up to song number 2356, and that one is Little Town Flirt by Shannon. This came out in 1963. Here's a picture of the single. It was also released on his 1963 album, also called Little Town Flirt, which looks pretty much exactly the same. And here's a picture of Del Shannon around the time he recorded it in 1963. And stick around till the end of this video because I decided to feature this one at karaoke. Do my best attempt to imitate Del Shannon. So I guess I first should talk about this song Little Town Flirt a little bit. Not a whole lot to say about it. It's about a guy who's heartbroken because his girlfriend turned out to be a flirt, flirting with every guy, I guess every guy in town or every guy in the school, whatever it was. Um, and a lot of his songs were about heartbreak, and I don't know. I heard he was very depressed. He ended up committing suicide in 1990 at age 55. But he did have a lot of hits. So I'll get into them in a minute, including this one. And actually, this one was also covered by a British band in 1981 called Smokey. They had a minor hit with it. Well, it was a hit in Germany. Went to number 30 in Germany, but that's the only country that it ever charted in. I never heard Smokey's version. Um, anyway, so now I guess I'll say a little bit more about Del Shannon. He was born in Coopersville, Michigan in 1934. And like I said earlier, he died. He committed suicide in 1990. He was in Santa Clarita, California. He was only 55 years old. And like I said, he'd been suffering from depression. I think I might as well say one more thing about this. I don't know if this is true, but when I first heard about this, I was in therapy myself. I've been in therapy for a big part of my life. Part of the reason for that is because my mom was a psychiatrist herself, and I think she kind of screwed me up in a lot of ways. I don't want to get into that, but I'm feeling much better. The good news is I'm feeling pretty good these days. But I had a couple big bouts of depression myself when I was in my teens and my 20s. I am taking medication for it. I'm taking, I'm lamotrigine for depression. I don't even really know if I need it anymore. But, there was a drug that was very popular in the 80s called Prozac. I actually did take that one for a few months. It didn't work for me. I ended up getting hospitalized shortly afterwards. But I heard that, what I heard was that Del Shannon was put on Prozac and he committed suicide while he was on Prozac, by the way. And, my psychiatrist at the time, I talked to him about this. He said he was actually less depressed when he committed suicide. He told me that some people are just so depressed that they're even too depressed to kill themselves. I'm not sure if I agree with that, but that's what he told me. He said that his doctor put him on Prozac and made him less depressed to the point where he did have enough guts to commit suicide. I'm not sure if I believe that. But anyway, just thought I'd mention that. But I guess now I'll just talk about his hit songs. He actually had a lot of hits. His first hit was in 1961. It was called Runaway. And that one went all the way to number one. That's a doo-wop classic. That one's coming up much, much higher on my list. He followed that up with Hats Off to Larry, which went to number five. Sounds kind of similar. Another pretty good song. It's also on my list. And then he had So Long Baby, which went to number 28, and Hey Little Girl, which went to 39. In 1962, he had Cry Myself to Sleep, which went to 99, and The Swiss Maid, which went to 62. In 1963, he had the song I'm featuring today, Little Town Flirt, which went to number 12, and Two Kinds of Teardrops, which went to 50, and From Me to You, that was a Beatles song written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney, pretty excellent song. Del Shannon also had a cover of that song, which went to number 77. Um, and then Sue's Gotta Be Mine, which went to 71. In 1964, he had a cover of well-known song called Handyman, originally recorded by Jimmy Jones, later covered by James Taylor. I believe both of those versions were top 10, but Del Shannon's only went to number 22. And then later in '64, he had Do You Wanna Dance, another song that's been covered by many artists. I think originally by Bobby Friedman. Del Shannon's version went to number 43. And then finally, he had a song called Keep Searching, We'll Follow the Sun. That was his last top 10, went to number 9. 1965, he had Stranger in Town, which went to 30. Breakup, which went to 95. And The Big Hurt, which went to 94. That was another cover, originally done by Tony Fisher in 1959. Finally, 1981, he had another well-covered song, Sea of Love. His version went to number 33. The biggest hit version of that one was by Phil Phillips sometime in the early 60s, and then later covered by Robert Plant and the Honey Drippers. Both of their versions were top 10, I believe. So those were the hits for Del Shannon. I guess I want to say one more thing about him before I finish. I actually saw him briefly in concert at the Taste of Chicago. It was probably just a few years before he died. It was like 86, 87. I think he was playing before it was either it was a Taste of Chicago, and I think he was playing before either Stevie Wonder or Chicago. I saw both of those groups at the Taste of Chicago. I was lucky enough to see those, and I guess I was also lucky enough to see Del Shannon. I think I remember him playing "Run Around Sue," which was another cover that was originally by Dion the Belmonts. But anyway, that's enough said about Del Shannon and his hits. So now, as I promised, I'm going to feature the song "Little Town Flirt" to karaoke. So here it goes. Here she comes, that little town flirt. You're falling for her, and you're gonna get her. Yeah, I know it's so hard to resist the temptation of her tender red lips, but you can get her. Yeah, you can get her, fooling around with that little town flirt. Here she comes, that look in her eye. She played around with every guy that goes by. Yeah, I know she's gonna treat you wrong, so your heart just better be strong, 'cause you can get her. Yeah, you can get her, fooling around with that little town flirt. I know how you feel. You think her love is real. You think this time she'll be sincere. But you'll think you got a paper heart when she starts to tell her it apart. That's when she'll let you go. Whoa, whoa, here she comes. Just look at that style. She's looking at you, giving you that smile. But I know she's gonna treat you wrong, so your heart just better be strong, 'cause you can get her. Yeah, you can get her, fooling around with that little town flirt. You better run and hide now, boys, You better pass her by now, yeah, boy. You better run away now, boy. Okay, that was my wonderful performance of Little Town Flirt by Shannon. So stay away from the Little Town Flirts. Anyway, thank you for watching. You guys rock, and I'll see you guys next time.